Welcome back, everyone. It's Average Joe Sports Talk. I'm in here with my main two men, Mr. Josh Abercrombie, Mr. Shannon Wood. This is going to be a very quick video. We're going to knock it out with three major games of implication this week in week 2 of college football. Those three games being Clemson at Texas A&M, Georgia at South Carolina, and Florida at home versus Kentucky. I think we're going to go ahead and lead off with the Gators in this one. Shannon, what we've seen week 1 with Florida was night and day what we've seen last year and the last previous years actually under McElwain. Dan Mullen said he wanted to make Felipe Franks feel comfortable. He absolutely did that. He said in the pregame presser when I was listening to Mick Hubert, he said, I don't care if he throws 9 picks. He's not coming out of the game. He's our quarterback. I want him to feel comfortable as our quarterback, and we're going to grow with him as our quarterback going forward. So the chances of Trask coming in, that's not going to happen. And I think we've seen during the play of that game that they've kind of separated themselves without a doubt. Talk a little bit about Florida last week, the receivers that stepped up, and what you see going forward into this week's game.
I want to see, like you texted me in the middle of the game, and although I realized it was going pretty good, you were right. You said, hey, can we not get a push up the middle for the running game? And I started watching a little more closely, and we didn't get a big push. A lot of our runs that actually gain yards, we actually hit the hole was clogged, we bounce outside, make a man miss, and get on the edge, and the receivers obviously were blocking well downfield. But I want to see us be more physical. Now I don't want to see us being so physical or trying to force ourselves into that so much so we get Franks out of his comfort zone like he was last week. I want to see him making progressions like he was last year. He was tunnel vision on one receiver. He threw it or he got sacked, threw a pick, whatever it was he needed to do. But last week it was, okay, this guy, and it was only 1 or 2, maybe 3, but it was more than 1. And it was progress. I love what Dan Mullen's trying to instill right now. We saw him on sidelines over there dancing. Felipe at one point.
He's trying to, you can tell he's trying to calm him down.
He was.
Make him feel comfortable.
And just imagine playing for a coach like that. That's just, think about playing for a coach like that, and then the coach you had last year, it was like Eeyore, and it was embarrassing to have him out there on the sidelines with you. But defense needs to fly around.
We're going to have to. Benny Snell's the real deal.
Yes.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. He's proven that time and again. But other than that, outside of him, we stack the box, slow him down. Does anybody else scare you on that defense?
No, and honestly, no. There's no household names. There's no. Now, if he gets going though, he's one of those guys that really his line doesn't even have to make great blocks. Just put a body on somebody and he'll make the rest happen.
Barry Sanders.
Yes.
Yeah, he's good.
I looked. He's dangerous. He's very dangerous. If he was on Alabama or in Auburn or Florida, Georgia, he would be a lot more of a household name, not just to sports people like ourselves. We obviously all know who Benny Snell is, but the average sports person may not know that. But
one more quick thing I'm going to throw in about Florida before we move on. Josh, you may have something to say about the game. We are getting all those suspended players back and a few injured players back, like Kadarius Toney being one, David Reese, another massive game back because he's the one going to be calling our defense.
He's questionable.
I think that Toney coming back it's going to make us way more dynamic. What do you think?
I think so too. The ball was spread out. Felipe had 5 touchdown passes to 4 different receivers
in the first half.
In the first half. So, the second half we toned it back, scaled it back. We're handing the ball off a lot more. But you're right. You give Kadarius Toney the ball, and that guy can take it to the house. Actually, Kentucky last year was his breakout game.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's when he was basically all we had on offense. So it'll be exciting to see what we can do going here forward. And the name I'm looking for, and I've been saying this since preseason, is Damian Pierce. I know I love Jordan Scarlett and everybody in between, but Damian Pierce by the end of the year, he'll be a household name.
I think C.C. Jefferson coming back is going to be big too.
That's huge.
I think so too.
And getting back to Dan Mullen and the quarterback situation, I think that's a real testament to the type of coach he is. I mean, he's a quarterback guru. If you look at the way he coached up Dak Prescott, it was completely different from the way he coached up Felipe Franks. And he recognizes that he needs to be something different for different guys. And I really like what he did with Felipe Franks.
He was only a 3-star coming out of high school. Dak was. Now he's basically all pro.
Yeah.
He's very good. One other thing I'm going to ask you, looking at this game as unbiased, is there anybody you see on Kentucky's team anybody else that we should probably figure outside of him?
Other than Benny Snell?
Yeah.
No.
I don't think so either.
No, I mean, I actually have a note here that says, get the ball to Snell.
That's it. That's true.
And last week, Kentucky had 4 turnovers against Central Michigan. Got to cut those down. That's not going to get it done against Florida.
Especially in Gainesville. All right, let's move it on. Next game I want to talk about, I want to dive straight into this Clemson-Texas A&M game. It's a very intriguing matchup. You and I talked off air on some very key stats. Will you share those stats with everyone real fast?
Right now, Clemson has 1 ranked opponent on their schedule all year long. Now, at best, I see that turning into maybe 2 when they play. Right now, the ranked opponent they play is Florida State, and when they play them, they may not be ranked. Right now, as we're shooting this, Florida State's losing to Virginia Tech 10-0.
Hold on one second. They have a coach named Willie. Just throw that out there. Go ahead.
Oh, we were all over that. That was garbage. So, in contrast to that, A&M right now on their schedule have 5 ranked opponents. Alabama, Clemson, Auburn, Georgia, and possibly South Carolina when they play.
Mississippi State.
Mississippi State could be ranked when they play.
Yeah, they're ranked now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
No doubt.
it's a tough road to hoe for A&M, and I think Clemson gets by this.
I think it's going to be a tough. They're going to, this is going to be one of those games where they fill up half the stadium at midnight yell before.
Yes,
I
here's the
guarantee
thing: is the game's being played at Kyle Field. We all know Kyle Field's a hard place to play.
Absolutely.
And here's another stat: Jimbo Fisher is 4-4 against Sweeney and Clemson. I think that's going to play a big factor. The
He's used to that.
familiarity.
Yeah.
He's going to know their playbook. He's going to know what to expect from them.
Knows their personnel.
And I think Texas A&M. I think this is going to be closer than the experts think.
Can anybody tell me there's a worse named coach game in the nation this week than Jimbo and Willie?
That's awful.
That
That's
sounds like a bluegrass
it
band.
is.
Jimbo, Willie, and the boys. Woods, what do you got?
I have a lot of my first few points was College Station, Kyle Field. That's in huge letters. And then you got Jimbo 4-4. Now the 4-4 is he started 3-3 and last 3 he's actually lost to make it 4-4. Actually 4-1 and then 4-4. I got Kelly Bryant and Trevor Lawrence. They went 5-5 series last week. Will they do the same? I don't think they can. Texas A&M returns 19 starters on their whole team. Here's where Texas A&M is making me buy in just a little bit after watching Kelly Mond last week. And I understand it wasn't the greatest opponent on earth, but if their offense has a pulse with their defensive line, I don't know. They could be very dangerous in the West. They could be very, very dangerous. And to make an already strong West even stronger is insane. Texas A&M also has 2 more days to prepare for Clemson because they had the early game. Now, I know they all went past the first game and prepared for each other, but that can play huge. I'm gonna. Are we throwing out picks right now?
Sure.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna drink the Kool-Aid with Texas A&M at Kyle Field. Now, if this was at Death Valley and Clemson, it would be a 2-touchdown swing to me. I mean, I just think.
That's how important.
Yes.
Yeah.
If A&M can make this a 4th quarter ball game and Kyle Field and the 12th man get involved, I'm gonna say Texas A&M 27, Clemson 23.
I like it.
Wow.
Does Clemson have a quarterback controversy on their hands?
There's no doubt.
Well,
They have to. The kid threw 3 touchdowns last week.
here's what I think they have. Kelly Bryant's going to start. Sunshine is waiting in the wings. There's no doubt about it. The problem is, I think they would have a locker room problem had they pulled Kelly Bryant out.
Yeah, I mean,
I just honestly think
ACC Player of the Year.
Yeah, I think they would have a locker room controversy, and I think Dabo knows that. So I honestly don't think they have a true quarterback controversy now. He's there to spark them, if that needs be,
I mean, I knew Trevor Lawrence was going to be good. I didn't know he was going to be this good, though.
I've got to. We're going to move on to our last game. We're going to keep this video pretty short. This is a major game in SEC. This is a game.
Did you pick?
You don't have to pick. I mean, you can if you want to. Well, he said closer than the experts.
Oh, yeah, okay.
He may want to save his final picks. This last game though, man, Georgia is 9.5 point favorite over South Carolina at South Carolina. When the cage falls and Cocky comes out and they're hitting that, sandstorm. That place rocks. My problem is, again, they're much like Kentucky. They're a one-horse and buggy on offense. Now, with that being said, I don't like Kirby Smart. I do think they're overrated, but I think Kirby Smart can draw up a game plan to stop one player, pretty much. I think it's going to be tough sledding for South Carolina offensively. However, I also think it's going to be tough sledding for Georgia. So, tell me your rundown on that game.
I like what I seen from Jake Bentley. 22 of 29 with 4 touchdowns.
He did play good.
Yeah. Debo Samuels had 7 receptions. I mean, I don't want to brag, but they kind of call that.
He's pretty
preseason.
awesome.
He is good. I think he's going to have to play big for Georgia to win this game. They're going to have to limit their turnovers. Georgia's got big shoes to fill. I mean, we've talked about that before. Roquan Smith is just huge.
8 starters total.
Yeah. So I think they are very young. Smart, he did his best Saban impression after the game and was not happy with the win. Said the players are going to have to grow up fast. I think he sees what's coming with this South Carolina team. I think he knows he's coming up against a good opponent. And I think
time to kick.
some of the Georgia players may be underestimating this team. With that being said, I think South Carolina wins
Outright. So you're picking them straight up.
Picking them straight up.
Woods picked A&M straight up.
Yes, obviously covering, I guess, because they're favorites.
I like it.
This Georgia game, though, there's several reasons that I like this. It's a 2:30 CBS game.
Good.
There's several reasons that I like South Carolina's chances in this game. Number one, if you watched Austin Peay versus Georgia, there was no push. We thought Florida didn't get a push. Georgia got no push. Elijah Holyfield, Evander's son, actually had 34 yards rushing, and one of them was a 17-yard touchdown rush. Demetrius Swift, he had 40 yards rushing. Nothing overly impressive. The defense is really young, like we've covered several times. Here's the key to me: if they go into South Carolina, if South Carolina can just keep those running backs balled up, make it a 4-quarter game, just like we thought. You talk about Texas A&M, then they've got as good a shot as any. You don't know how those young guys, 4 or 5 stars regardless, how are they going to respond in that atmosphere? How are they going to react in that atmosphere? And I think Jake Bentley is a key. I think he's one of the top echelon quarterbacks in the SEC, maybe the most underrated quarterback in the SEC, to be honest with you. You got the Muschamp versus
you talking about the Saban Reject Bowl?
Yes. The Saban Reject Bowl, yes.
The Saban Reject Bowl.
And I'm going to go with the home team here. I'm going to predict the top 3 team goes down this weekend. And I'm actually going to give it a 28-17. I just don't.
Wow.
I don't buy in Georgia. We talked about it before the season. I
agree.
I think this is where they're exposed to be not a very good team. And not a very good team, a very young team is what I should have said. A very young team that in a couple of years maybe they'll be back. Maybe next year. But
talented, sure,
yes,
but young.
I think one thing Muschamp can do is recruit, and he's actually got some talent over there. So my thing is, it's just hard for me to pick anything Muschamp does. It's also equally hard for me to pick anything Smart does. I think they're equal coaches and both a little overrated, honestly. The only one from Saban's tree that I have faith in is Jimbo, honestly. And that's honest God's truth.
How physical will this game be?
It's going to be physical. Ain't no doubt about it. I mean, it's going to be one of those games that I'm not going to be flipping channels. I'll tell you that. At 2:30, I'm going to be dialed into that one.
Yeah, because we got what's the night game?
That's Florida, Kentucky.
Well, when does USC and Stanford play?
That's going to be a super late game.
Yeah. So we got all day. We have all day of awesome football.
There's not a lot of games, but they're spaced out just right.
Yes.
We're going to be we're gonna be getting after it ourselves, boys.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of Maxwell House drink, a lot
That's right.
of DeSanti Warners. Guys, we're about to close this video out. Josh, explain to these fine folks what we got in our corners here.
If you want to watch another video of ours, click here. And if you want to subscribe to our channel, click on
Right
Woods.
over there. With that being said, this is Average Joe Sports Talk. Good night.